are questioning the Article 5 convention process. As much as I appreciate their dedication to the Constitution and their desire to preserve the Constitution, I do not see any other process. I do not see any other mechanism which can overcome what we're facing on the left. Congress is broken. They will not defend the Constitution. The presidency is broken. The president will not defend the Constitution. The Supreme Court, the ultimate defender of the Constitution, is not doing it. We have to do it ourselves, and we have to do it in the states through an Article 5 Constitution Convention. So let me talk in the few minutes I have about immigration. You should have some handouts that have been put out on your tables. That really are three bills I'm going to talk about specifically. First, I'm going to talk about the federal bill, which is the Senate Bill 744, which is, of course, passed the federal Senate and is now over in the Ohio House. I just gave you the front page. On there is John Boehner's phone number. You know his name well. Use the phone number. Let him know how you feel about it. I'm going to give you just a very few details about 744. And let me also say, and I've already messed up through my notes, there are some organizations here that you need to rely upon for immigration information. One is FAIR, the Federation for American Immigration Reform, and much of what I'm going to talk about today comes from their website. They have a section called 40 Reasons to Oppose the Senate Bill 744. I'm not going to give you all 40, but I'll give you a few. Another organization is the Ohio Citizens for Sensible Immigration. Julie and John, wave your hands over there from Ohio Citizens for Sensible Immigration at immigrationohio.org. You can sign up for their website and get on their mailing list. I implore you to do so and to participate in this battle like so many others we have to do. So 744, what does or doesn't it do? Well, 744 sets up a system by which we establish a new category of registered provisional immigrants in this country, so-called RPIs. So when you see the RPIs, that's the illegal person who's now going to be given this new status as a registered provisional immigrant. But the system does not include, as you may have heard, it does not include any biometric process for tracking those folks. Now, biometrics means thumbprints and that kind of thing, so you really know who you're talking about. That is not in 744, and it only sets up instead a simple identification process, and only then, of course, at ports of entry, obviously not happening as they cross the border down in the southwest. It does not require any additional fencing, and it doesn't even require that we finish the fence that we're already supposed to have. So it doesn't create any additional border security. It does require, however, that they study the idea of a fence once again. You know, this is crazy. If we just done what Reagan proposed back in the 80s, even though I would not have favored that we have amnesty back in the 80s, Reagan did it in the hope it would solve this problem. You know, there's an old saying my father-in-law used to say, you know, fool me once, shame on me. No, that's the other way around. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. We cannot do this again. 744 does not require illegal aliens to pay their back taxes. You may have heard language that it does. No. What it does is requires illegal aliens to pay any taxes that they've been assessed. Folks, if you don't file tax returns, you don't get assessed. So it's a joke to say this only for taxes. It does not require illegals who now become these RPIs to learn English. It just requires, perhaps, that they promise they're going to study English. This bill does not put any more agents or officers on the border. It does put more agents at ports of entry, at the airports and the seaports and so forth. But there's no more agents to go down to the southwest border to solve the biggest part of the illegal immigration problem, that is folks coming across our southern border. It does, 744, does waive multiple convictions. So if you've got convictions for things like gang-related crimes, or 3 or more drunk driving offenses, or domestic violence offenses, Or violating federal or state drug laws? Well, that's really not that important. We can waive that. And who's going to waive that but some bureaucrat? It is not tough on employers. In fact, it lets a lot of employers off the hook. And this has been a major criticism I have had, because I've been working ever since I came to the legislature a year ago on a bill that would require certain things from employers, because employers are the magnet for illegal employees. But this bill does not solve that problem. In fact, it makes the problem worse. It actually exempts so-called casual labor employers from the rules that might otherwise apply. That means we're going to encourage the kind of day labor situations that you see across the country. We have E-Verify. Many of you have heard of E-Verify. E-Verify is working. It's on the books. But we're going to delay any requirement that employers actually use E-Verify. And if the state of Ohio requires E-Verify, well, that won't apply. Only the federal rules will apply. So it's going to make things easier for people to work illegally. It actually gives judges discretion as to whether they're going to actually implement or enforce these new federal laws under 744. So if you think that you like any part of 744, it really is meaningless unless the judges and the government decides to implement it. And you know, folks, we have a government that's deciding they don't implement laws, as I'm going to talk about in a moment. It allows the Secretary of State to waive the laws if the Secretary of DHS, Homeland Security, if she decides that it's in the public interest or would create a hardship, she can simply waive the requirements of 744. And if you trust this President and this Secretary of Homeland Security to do that, I don't. This is just incredible to me, this provision. If you apply for this status, this RPI, Registered Provisional Immigrant Status, and if you're denied, this bill actually provides that you can file a lawsuit, but not just a lawsuit, a class action lawsuit. Can you imagine opening up the federal courts to class action lawsuits by those who admittedly are here illegally? It's incredible. But that's what the bill provides. And to make sure they understand their rights, we're going to open up a new bureaucracy called the Office of Legal Access Programs. All right, that bureaucracy is designed to help people understand their rights under this new law and to make sure they're enforced. It's predicted that illegal immigration population in this country will triple over the next 10 years under this bill. And finally, the bill provides, over the next 5 years, or the first 5 years of its implementation, for a $100 million trust fund to help nonprofit agencies bring people into the country under 744. Now, these are what we used to call community organizers. $100 million in grants for them to work under this bill. Folks, if 744 becomes law, this is over. And we will have created a new illegal population in this country, which, as I'm going to talk about, has tremendous detrimental effects for us. And let me quickly say